Feels like Christmas. Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. I say hey boy, hey for the guys that aren't really comfortable in their skin. I used to just say hey girl, hey. But I'll give y'all hey boy, hey. So I told you guys that my aunt and my mother were sending me another package. I told you guys that my aunt, Gloria, whom I did a podcast with, she coupons. And so she cuts out coupons and she buys shit almost free, basically. And then she sells it to me at a discount. So let's look and now some of the stuff she just gives to me. So this time she sent this whole package. Usually I buy the stuff from her when I'm in Maryland, but I was running out of stuff. And so she told me, I'm just gonna send you this package and then you tell me how much you think you owe for it. Okay. I said, okay. So she sent me some stuff. All right. Olive oil. You know, you need some olive oil if you're gonna be cooking. So she packed that separately. Oh, these are for the dishwasher, the little tablets. Oh, freezer bags. Febreze. If you're new to here, then you need to be looking at, you need to get you some of this cranberry Febreze. It's amazing. She got me some shower gel. Oh, some more pods for the dishwasher. I wanted to buy new pods for a while. This feels like Christmas. I like shit like this. I got home and the box was at the door. Ooh, these for your toilet. You know, you put these on your toilet bowl so they don't, so it smells fresh and stuff. She sent me a couple of those. Oh, some dryer sheets. Some dryer sheets. For the dryer. You know how you dry your clothes? This big old bottle. Oh. Now I know some of y'all boycotting Dove. You know, 'cause y'all love the boycott. But I'm not really supporting Dove, because this came off of a coupon, amen? It's another Dove. We got one last bag. What's in here? I'll call her when I get off with you guys and let her know that I got it. Oh, these are some vegan soups. She sent me 2 vegan soups. Those of you that are new, you know I don't eat meat. I mean, those of you that are new, I do not eat meat. Quinoa. Couscous. Oh, seitan. I've been wanting some seitan. Seitan is like a meat substitute. Seitan is made from wheat protein, red beans, and sprouted lentils. Oh my God, I've been wanting to try that. vegan sea salt tuna. Tuna is spelled T-O-O. I don't know about that. We're going to try that out and see. All right, so that's everything. I felt like I just went grocery shopping. I felt like I just went to Walmart and didn't actually have to actually go and see y'all in y'all pajamas and stuff. You know how y'all go to Walmart in your pajamas. Ooh, let me move this stuff. I got some things to say. I don't know if y'all listened to the video that I posted in the So Much to Say podcast Pen Pals group. It's part 2 of the young lady that was that I posted last night in the live video last night, who's involved with the married guy. She came back on the radio today to really express some feedback, because some of y'all were letting her have it on the radio and stuff. And I think this video has gone viral on social media, so she's feeling some kind of way about y'all talking about her. So I'm going to play part 2 of what she said today, because I know all of you are not in the private group, the So Much to Say podcast Pen Pal group. So I'm going to play that, and I am going to get to my list of things. Now listen, I have 3 books to gift. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook Live version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. I have 3 books to gift. Victoria Johnson out there in the Bay Area, she sent me $54. There she is. There's Victoria. She's dropping those hearts up there. She gifted 3 books. Victoria sent me $54 in the Cash App. My Cash App is The Writer. I just pinned it down here at the bottom, but it's also at the caption at the top. It's also in the caption at the top. She gifted 3 books, so I'm going to gift 3 books. I already know who I want to gift them to, because they've been asking me forever, and it seems like every time we gift books, I always, hey girl, hey Victoria, I always end up missing these 3 people. So if you're in here tonight, now you got to be in here tonight, you got to be in here right now. Donna Smith, Lori Geddes, and Barbara Kennedy. Are you in here now? If you're in here now, let me see you. Drop some hearts or something, and then I will ship you a copy, whichever copy you want. Either the first book, Words Never Spoken, or One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, or So Much to Say, a book of quotes. Calling Once, yes, Kiop, Calling Once. And I also have a ticket for the live podcast. On June 2nd, we're going to do this live. It's going to be live June 2nd in Atlanta. The details for that are also on my website. The details for that are also in the private So Much to Say podcast Pen Pal group. But my website is CraigTheWriterStewart.com. It's up here and down here. All of the details for everything that you're going to need are always posted up here, right? But we're doing a live podcast on June 2nd. Bianca Alston up there in Pennsauken, New Jersey. See how I remember where my people are? Bianca gifted a ticket to the live podcast. The tickets for the live podcast are $25 normally. We're going to have open bar. Not no cheap shit. We're going to have open bar. All right, Wisdom. Carla booked her ticket. She flying up from Jacksonville. We're going to have open bar. We're going to have food that's going to be catered. And Cammy Cakes is going to be sponsoring the desserts. Yes, you will be able to purchase a ticket at the door. Jocelyn McLean. But anyway, Bianca is gifting a ticket. So I need to know who is going to be in Atlanta on June 2nd, and I will gift you a ticket. All right, so let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to talk about before we come to this lady, because I got some other things I want to talk about first. And see, some of y'all straggling in here late. Look, Lucy coming in talking about, hey, girl, come on in here and sit down. Come on in here and sit down, Lucy. And Susan Fierro talking about, hey, everyone. Susan been coming here long enough to know that it's hey, girl, hey. She trying to be recalcitrant. And Donna Smith, another one. Hey, girl, hey. Look at Angela Twyman with her late ass. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Twana. Hi. Hi. Are they going to sit down or are they going to keep yelling, hey? India Solomon, a.k.a. Red's Love. No, I didn't see the tag. Look at LaShayla. LaShayla talking about gift my boyfriend a ticket. Girl, you ain't even bought your ticket yet. She talking about gift. She trying to get me to gift somebody else a ticket. She ain't even bought her ticket. No, this hat is actually not new. I've had this hat for probably, is Kenyatta Keys in here? She was in Atlanta probably maybe 2 years ago. I've had this hat about 2 years ago. Went into this store called God is Dope. The store is called God is Dope. And on this side it says the G is for God. And this is the front of the hat. It's a G, right? So Kenyatta was here, I think about 2 years ago. And I took her to this store because there's some young black guys that own the store. And I wanted to support them. So I just took her into the store and I ended up buying a hat and she ended up buying a hat and I think in 2 shirts or something. Yeah, so no, this isn't a new hat. But anyway, but now their company has gone viral. Well, not viral, but it's really big on social media now. Janet Jackson wore a T-shirt that says God is dope. So everybody was like scrambling, like, you know. But anyway, hi, Tanya. Or is it Tanya? Hi, Tanya Johnson. Or Tanya Johnson. Hey, girl, hey. I'm just wondering if I can get started. They coming in late. Close the door. Close the door, please. Y'all letting all these bugs in. Close the door. I got me an ice cream pop. This flavor is banana cinnamon. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, she good. She tasty. Is it just me? Or are Uber drivers crazy? Did you hear about this Uber Eats driver that just attacked this man the other day? Sir, can you just deliver my Thai food, please? Why are you trying to fight me? Why? Look at Carmen. Carmen yelling from the back. I got that ginger candy, by the way. Look. She yelling from the back. I told you guys about this ginger candy last week. It's my favorite. She yelling from the back. Girl, stop yelling. She yelling all over people. This ice cream is by King of Pops. Now, the way that they started, I don't think they black owned, though. That's not a black owned company. But still, we can support other people. As long as they ain't racist. The way that King of Pops started, they're like a little ice cream stand. And when Twitter was really big, like a few years, probably like 2009, they would pop up on a different corner, like on a random corner, and they would tweet and let you know where they were going to be selling ice cream for that day. So if you didn't know, they didn't have like a stationary place or a brick and mortar place. They would just let you know that day. They would tweet out and say, hey, we're going to be at the corner of such and such, such and such. But anyway, this is King of Pops. So it's kind of like a play on Michael Jackson because they got a little crown up here, King of Pops. But anyway, this is banana cinnamon. So I got a bunch of flavors. I got a strawberry lemonade up there. But anyway, tonight we're eating this. But them Uber drivers, why are you attacking people? They raping folk. And I'm not saying it's all of them. But I'm trying to understand, why are they always in the news? They might need to put them through some sort of a psychiatric evaluation. I haven't heard anything about Lyft, like any Lyft drivers. I haven't heard anything crazy. Oh, y'all notice I got my hair cut today? I put my hat on, though, because I needed to. I got to put my hair rollers in. I had to put my hair rollers in because I don't want my curls to fall. But I've been out all day today. I've been out since 11:30 this morning. And I had to come home and wash my face. You know, I had been to the barber. I had been out in the day, all day. So I needed to come and wash my face. Some of y'all don't even wash your face. Y'all out in the street all day, and then y'all go straight to bed, going to sleep with makeup on. Wait a minute. Sherry says she donated 2 books. Just now? Ooh. Sherry just donated 2 books. Who in here said they wanted a book? Somebody said they wanted a book. Sherry, thank you. Sherry just donated 2 books. Sherry Morris. Sherry must still have some income tax money. Let me tell you how much I really appreciate you guys. R.C. Malone, do you have any of the books? Let me tell you why this is so special. You know why this is so special? When you guys purchase books like that for people. And I don't know if you really put this much thought in it when you do it. But the reason why it's so special to me is because whether you know it or not, you're allowing me to spread. You're allowing me to grow. Because like literally when I'm shipping these books, R.C. Malone, inbox me your shipping address and your real name. Because what's R.C.? Okay? Inbox me your shipping address. Whether you realize it or not, when I go to ship these books out, I'm shipping books across this country. Yolanda. Girl, I thought that said Tony Braxton. That says Tony Brinson. Hey, girl, hey. Who said that was their first time watching last night? That was, hold on, Yolanda. Miss Yolanda. Pat Ward. Are you a reader? Are you a reader, Yolanda? But anyway, when I'm shipping these books, they go all across this country. And so when I look at it, I think about it, it's like I'm planting seed. I'm planting seeds across this nation. And you know, before you know it, words never spoken, one thing for certain, 2 things for sure, so much to say, these are going to be household names. That's the way I see it. I don't know about y'all, but I see God working. I see him moving in the small details. It's the small details. The small details. Baby, Carolyn, I thought they said Tony Braxton. They said Tony Brinson. I'm about to say, Tony, you in here? Where Yolanda? Is she still typing? Yolanda must be on one of those. Okay, Yolanda, if you would do that, I'm going to go ahead and gift the book to Stephanie Gladney. Stephanie, are you a reader? Now, don't say you're a reader if you know you ain't reading nothing. I don't mean you sitting around reading Essence magazine. I need somebody who's going to read the book and get to the hair salon and be like, girl, let me tell you about this book. Girl, did you ever read Elin Harris? Well, child, there's a guy named CraigTheWriterStewart. Bitch, it's like he picked up where Elin Harris left off. Girl, let me tell you about this book, Words Never Spoken. Here, Leslie, you want some of this ice cream? I got a few different flavors in the freezer. And girl, these are $5.50 a bar. I got to make a little profit off of them. They $5.50 a bar. Now, did you want one? Khalid, thank you for listening to the podcast last week. Stephanie, inbox me your shipping address. Okay? And then R.C. Malone. So those are the 2 books that Sherry just donated, all right? Now, don't get all upset, those of you that I didn't call tonight, because there will be plenty of times that I'm going to give some other books. Okay? So don't be mad. You know, some people, they can't be happy for nobody. But that's not y'all, though, right? Why you can't take my book to work, Aletha? Because it's too greasy. It's too greasy. You're welcome, Stephanie. Well, listen. I watched Scandal last night. I don't know if y'all watched Scandal. It was not good. I was all excited to see the show. I was bored. I was so bored watching it. I was like, what is this? It felt like the end of a... Wait a minute. Oh, that's my girl that worked for the food stamp office. Oh, yeah, don't take that to the food stamp office. Don't take my shit to the food stamp. Didn't we just see an application for him? So you changed your picture, Aletha. I didn't know who you were. You changed your picture. I didn't forget you. Let me tell you something. Scandal was it really wasn't good last night. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm still checking, Leela. It's not on there just yet. It's not on Audible just yet. I promise you, I ain't going to forget. When it's available, I'm going to tag you and I'm going to tag Theodore when I post it. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm pissed. All right, now let's get down to business. Okay? Let's get down to business. Where is that second part of that interview? Hold on, let me find this girl. So last night I played a part of an interview. A woman who was involved with a married man for 3 years. She fell in love with him. And, I'm dripping ice cream on my damn sleeve. These little speckles right here. I wore this shirt probably back in December for a hey, is it Fazal? I wore it to a paint and sip birthday gathering, and the damn paint splashed up on me, and it's acrylic paint, so it ain't coming out. And I love this shirt, so I'm not getting rid of it. Where's the... Let me just go over to LaShayla's page for her messy stuff. She had it on her page. Let me go over to LaShayla's page. She had the whole interview up there. All right, so look, we're going to do just like we did last night. I'm going to play what she said today. And let y'all hear it. Okay? Listen up. Put your listening ears on. Come on and sit down. Stop all that yelling. People trying to hear.
Irritated this morning.
Okay, listen. Y'all ready? I'm going to play it twice.
I'm here.
It's Frank and Wanda.
Good morning. Good morning.
You sound a little bit irritated this morning.
Why do people judging me? I just don't think that they really understand. Like, they making this my fault. When I met this man, he told me that, he was separated. I believed him. I went to his apartment. I went to his condo. He had his own place. I stayed the night. I was with him several nights a week. Can't help who you fall in love with. I wasn't planning on falling in love with this man, but I did. Everybody out there, with something to say, don't know what I've been going through.
A lot of women who are posting online basically is saying, you're the bad guy because you messed with a married man. He was still legally married.
What about the fact that, the married man messed with me? Why is it that the woman is always the first one to be, blamed? I'm not the one married in the situation. He was. I'm not the one that had vows. He was the one with the vows. I wasn't the one with the commitment. He was the one with the commitment. So why wasn't there, a lot of comments about him? Why is it, he married, but she did this and she did that? So all these people mad at me, but they not holding him accountable. I'm making him accountable. I'm holding him accountable in the way that nobody else will. I know that there are other women out there like me. That girl Shay called in, and she said she was in my exact situation. So I know that there are a lot of women out here who are just like me. It's easy to judge me, and it's easy, to blame, the other woman. But I'm doing what people won't do. And that's hold him accountable. He gonna do what he said. So, people can get mad, they can judge, I read a lot of those comments, Frank and Wanda, and it's just not fair. People making comments, and they ain't even in my shoes. So, basically, they can kick rocks. Because they don't know me, they don't know my situation, and I know that there are a lot of other women out here, just like me, going through what I'm going through.
Can I ask you a question? When you found out that he was married, okay, regardless of whether he told you he was going to get a divorce, whatever the case may be, when he said, yes, I'm married, why didn't you cut it off and say, hey, holla at me when you get a divorce? Holla at me when your wife is out of the picture, because I don't want to interrupt this. Why didn't you say that?
Because, Wanda, I had fallen in love with him by then. You can't control who you love, and so what? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to just, forget what I feel and just turn and walk away?
What do you ultimately want from him?
I want him to do what he said he was going to do, Frank. He said that he was going to be with me, and that's it.
He's not your man. He's married.
He is my man, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't think.
He's not your man. He's not yours.
He is my man, and he's going to be my man, and he is going to do what he said he was going to do.
My thing is, if he's doing this to his wife with you, you don't think he's going to do this to you with somebody else?
You know what? Like that girl Shay said, if that's what happened, you know what? Then just charge it to the game.
I know you're in a lot of pain. Can I please just make one suggestion? My suggestion for you is, would you please just do Frank and Wanda a favor and please go speak to someone about this situation. I think you really should go speak to a therapist about your frustrations, what you're mad at, and just hear it from somebody else on how you can get through this, to come out better on the other end. Would you please do that for me?
I mean, I'll talk to somebody. Yeah, I'll talk to somebody about it. This is not fair.
Maybe me and Wanda can help you out with that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Do y'all need to hear this again, or can we talk? Do y'all need to hear it again? Let me know. I have so much to say. Look at Rashard with her late ass yelling, hey girl. We in study. We in study, Rashara. Come on in and sit down. Is there an empty seat by somebody in here? Have her sit down, please. She done brought her kids in here. We trying to have grown people talk. She got her kids. If you're in the room right now with some children, put your headphones on, because I might be cussing when I talk. All right. I know it's Friday night. Let me start by saying this. I personally believe that we are all one bad decision away from making the same bad decision that someone else made. It may not be this, but it could be something else. And I think that it's so easy to stand on the outside of a situation and judge. It's so easy to stand outside of a situation and be like, oh, she dumb. Oh, she's stupid as hell. But the reality is there are situations where we've all been in situations or scenarios standing on a quagmire. There's your word for the night, quagmire. There have been situations where I know for me, that's part of the reason I wrote these books. I swear to you, it's the only reason I wrote these books is because I wanted to figure out a way that I could put all of the things that I have learned about dating, that I've learned about, it doesn't matter if it's gay relationships or heterosexual relationships. I wanted to be able to put every single thing that I had learned as an entrepreneur, and just as a loving, feeling person, as a person that just made mistakes in relationships, a person that learned from relationships, but I personally believe that there have been situations that you've been in. When I look back at this book and when you guys send me messages and shit, Tracy, sit down, girl, we talking. Valerie, sit down with Valerie. But when you guys email me and say, oh my God, Craig, that part when you did such and such, such and such, bitch, I be thinking the same thing. I be looking back at myself like, I don't even recognize the motherfucker in this book. In these books. I don't recognize that person. Because it's just like, at 41, it's just like, oh yeah, you did some dumb shit. So it's easy to look at this girl. I don't know how old she is. I don't know. But it's easier to look at somebody and say, you know what? Like, what were you thinking about? Like, why did you do this? Like, but I promise you, if you take a moment and look back at your own life, there are things that you've done that your family members, your friends have looked at you and said, bitch, are you crazy? What is wrong with you? Now, with that being said, what I'll say is, I think she's moved beyond the point of putting things in, of being rational. I think she's moved beyond the point of being rational. I don't know if you listened to the video that I did last night, but in that video, she was saying how she goes to the woman's salon. She goes to this man's wife's hair salon. Now, I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but what she went on to say was, I make sure my appointment is the same day as her. Now, bitch, that's crazy. Now, it could have been a situation where it just so happened that they were going to the same salon. But if you are making it your business to go to the, you are crazy. Like you are really spiraling. Like you're spiraling. And then she went on to say in the video yesterday, she even goes to this yoga class. I go there too. It's just like, how much time you got to be altering and adjusting your schedule to be going? You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of some old Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close Fatal Attraction shit. And if you're too young to remember Fatal Attraction, that's one old movie that you listen. It reminds me of that. And this husband has put his wife at risk because she's none the wiser. None the wiser. What if this woman attacks her one day in the parking lot just because she can't get a response from the man? What if she drives her off the road? Because in the video yesterday, she threatened to go to the AJC. For those of you that don't live in Atlanta, the AJC is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. That's the newspaper. That's the major newspaper here. But, girl, do you know people are having affairs every single day? Like, girl, what you think going to the newspaper going to do? What is that going to do? Going to the newspaper. Girl, we don't write those kind of stories here. People have... Do you understand they wouldn't be able to cover anything, any other news if they wrote about the affairs that y'all having? Because quiet as it's kept. Some of these people that are in here, they are involved in this very same scenario. They coming in here acting all self-righteous and shit. But see, I know. And as a person that was in it, here's what I understood. Now, at 41, you won't catch me getting into a relationship with a married man or a person that's in a relationship again. When I was in that situation, and it doesn't warrant it, it doesn't give any excuse or anything. I'm not justifying it at all. But I was 35. And that still is that right at the point where you know better. You know better. You ain't had no business fooling with him. But here's the difference between, and I'm not trying to create some sort of a hierarchy, because I think wrong is wrong. There's no lesser of the two evils. But in my situation, when I was dealing with this married guy, I was very clear about my boundaries. Because what I said was, and what I decided was, if you don't leave by December 31st, which would have been 6 months after we had started getting involved, and I'm done. I'm done. And we had talked about it. I said, because I don't want to put any pressure, because this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what he did, and I'm sure that's what this man has done. They'll say to you, every time you bring it up, every time you want to talk about it, and you want to kind of gauge where you are and how close they are to leaving, well, why do you keep bringing it up? Why you keep pressuring me? We can't ever just get together and just do nothing, you know, without talking about that. Nah, nigga, because you still in a relationship, and I need to know where you at with that. Because as for me and my household, you weren't going to have me holding on for no year. This girl been in this situation for 3 years. 3. And remember the podcast I told y'all that I wanted to do? And I said that I had a conversation with a woman who was involved with a man for 7 years. She was going through a divorce. He was unhappy in his marriage, but she just thought she was going to play around with him. I ran into her today, right after I showed that video of me and DT, because it's DT's friend. He was like, there she is right there. I ain't even say nothing to her. Because, see, you didn't want to have she wasn't ready to have that honest conversation. She wasn't ready to have that honest conversation. But in this situation, this girl has allowed this man to drag her for 3 years. That's essentially what he did. He allowed her to drag her in this relationship, in this dysfunction for 3 years. And see, what happens is, and some of you may be thinking about, how do you allow yourself to get into this situation? Because going into it, in theory, you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to have me a good time. That motherfucker married, whatever. But then that shit sneaks up on you. Them feelings sneak up on you. He's persistent and consistent. He's persistent and consistent. And in those lonely moments where you want somebody to call you because you ain't doing nothing but snuggled up on the couch watching a horrible episode of Scandal, you answer the phone. Oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, you in the neighborhood? Oh, yeah, you can stop by. Yeah, I drink Riesling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me know when you get to the gate. Call up on the gate, okay? All right. So, that's how it happens. That's how the fuck it happens. Hey. Oh, no, I was just on my way to pay my cell phone bill. How you doing? Oh, you were going to pay it for me? Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I can meet you for lunch. Oh, okay. And you gonna give me the money when we get to lunch? Okay, yeah. Let's meet at the Houston's on Peachtree Street, the one that T.I. was boycotting. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. All right, bye. That's how it happens. But see, them little innocent outings, them little innocent dates, it turns into a cold winter night. His wife is out of town. You at home. Speaking of out of town, that's how it happened with me and Rocky. I was living in Maryland at the time. I'm from Maryland. I was living in Maryland. And for the purpose of the book, I'm going to say they were living in Florida. But that's what I write in the book. But that's not really where they were living. They were living in Florida. And he called and was like, hey, I really want to see you. I was like, okay. You don't think I'm about to fly to Houston, though. See, again, boundaries. Because, see, I was already getting to that point where it was just like, okay, we coming up on that 6-month stretch, and he ain't left yet and doesn't look like he leaving. See, she didn't have a time limit. She didn't have a time limit. Now, again, like I said last night in my video, what I should have done, what she should have done was say, oh, you know what, boo? I think you're beautiful. I think this is amazing conversation that we're having. And I haven't really had anybody touch that part of my heart in a while. But I'm going to need you to put them divorce papers in. And then when you divorce her, then you give me a call. Remember the podcast that I did? The Winding Road to Love, where the black woman came on? She's actually going to be at the podcast on June 2nd, the live podcast. But remember that one where she talked about how she met her husband, and when he was really trying to pursue her, he was still married, but they had been separated for about a year or two or whatever it was. And she said, will you come back when you get them divorce papers? And don't call me until you do. And she meant that. When that Negro got them divorce papers, he called her about 6 months later, a year later, however long it was. He came showing up at the door. Hey, I got my divorce papers. She said, oh, okay. Now come back in 6 more months when you're ready to move into a real relationship. See, some of you, You keep moving the wall. You keep moving the line. You keep moving the line. You can't keep moving the line. See, you move the line because you're scared that if you push him back, you give him some pushback, then he ain't gonna come back. Well, if he don't come back, it wasn't meant to be. That's protection, not rejection. That's protection, not rejection. So back to Rocky. So Rocky said, hey, I want you to come down to Florida. I said, well, I know you don't think I'm about to fly down to Florida and sit in a hotel all day until you can find some time to sneak out to come hang out with me at a hotel and then run back home. What am I supposed to do while you at home? I don't know nobody down there. No. This is him. No. It ain't going to be like that. She got to go out of town for work. Oh, so he's sneaky. This is what it taught me. This motherfucker's sneaky. And I'm going to tell you what else it taught me. It also taught me that he knew how to lie. Oh, he's good at lying. I learned the way that he would lie. So he said, well, she going out of town on Monday. So she leaving in the morning. So you fly in when she leave, you fly in. Listen, it's in the book, the entire story. That lady flew out of town. And this is when my spirit wasn't right anymore with it. And I felt like he was moving me beyond my comfort zone. He's moving me beyond my comfort zone. And my chi was off. When I say that lady flew out of town that morning, like 10:30, 11 o'clock, he dropped her off at the airport. She flew out of town. He came home, called me on Skype and was like, all right, you on your way to the airport? My spirit wasn't right. Mind you, I hadn't even got up out of the bed yet. I hadn't even gotten up out of the bed yet because my spirit was convicted. See, there were those were the little whispers. Those were the whispers. Michael Stratton, do you have my books? You asking me questions that are in the books. Boo. Michael Stratton, I know you got $36, Michael Stratton. Go on and send me that $36 to the Cash App. My Cash App ID is The Writer. I'm going to sign them and ship them out to you with the other people that I'm giving books to or gifting. But my spirit wasn't right. And he called and he was like, you not on your way to the airport yet? And I said, no, I'm about to get up. He said, well, come on and get up. I don't want you to miss the flight. And I'm sitting here like, but my spirit was convicted. But I got up and I flew down there. A few hours after this lady had left that same airport, I flew into that same airport. And I'm going to tell you when I really was out of my comfort zone and I said, you know what, this is it for me. We stayed at their house. I don't think you hear me. This man was so comfortable cheating that we stayed in their house. And I kept saying to him, how are you so comfortable to stay in this house? Because I said, I was online and everything. I was booking hotels. I had located the hotel and everything. Was like, okay, we're going to stay here at this hotel. Because what I said to him was, just because I don't know this lady doesn't mean I can't respect her. I said, so we're not staying at this house. Well, I get down to Florida. I almost said the actual state. I get down to Florida. This Negro says, we in the car driving. He said, we ain't staying in no hotel. We staying right at the house. Why are we paying for a hotel and we can stay right here at the house? She ain't in town. When a motherfucker... See, that's an integrity issue. That's an integrity issue. Listen, I was not comfortable the entire weekend. When we first walked into the house, I wouldn't even sit down. I wouldn't even touch anything. I had my bag on my shoulder still. He was like, sit down. Like, you can put your bag down. Get comfortable. But see, all I could imagine was if that lady come back through that door because she surprised him with some shit. Oh, did I already say? Oh, no, it wasn't Houston. Why did I say Houston then, I wonder? It wasn't Houston, though. It wasn't Houston. It's another city in Texas, but it wasn't Houston. So anyway, but in the book I say it's Florida. But yes, it was in Texas, but not Houston. I don't know why I say Houston. But anyway, I couldn't get comfortable And so I'm in the house and I'm looking around and I'm just feeling like this lady is going to come in this house at any moment. So, by the time it was time to go to bed, I was scared to go to sleep. But I ended up going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But what it taught me was this man, this is bigger than him leaving his wife and being conflicted about his sexuality. This really became an integrity issue. And for me, I realized that I didn't want to be in love with a person who has an integrity issue. Integrity is at the top of the list for me now. It's at the top of the list for me. And I realized that I realized that he was comfortable living on the periphery of the straight world and in the gay world. And in this situation, this man that she's dealing with, he may like the adrenaline rush of cheating and not even leaving. And then what I was thinking too, as I listened to it earlier today, what if this man was just telling her that he wanted to leave his wife all of this time, but then he got to a point that he realized he didn't want to be with her. He realized he didn't want to be with her. And that's why he told her, oh, I'm going to try to work things out with my wife. What if he really isn't trying to work things out with his wife? What if he just said that to her because he's just tired of her ass? Well, here's the question. Here's the answer, Kiat. The reason why it was difficult for me was because my integrity was in place. And that was the feeling of conviction that I had that day when I was about to jump on the plane. That was the feeling that I had when I got to the airport. I just ignored it, though. I ignored it. And that's what I'm saying. You can't ignore shit like that. When she said in this video that she knew she was falling in love with him, and Wanda said, well, why didn't you just leave him once you realized that he was married? Because she says originally he told her they were separated. But once you realize that he was married, why didn't you leave? Because my thing is, at that point, it would have been less painful to leave than it would have been now. It would have been less painful then. She should have left then. She should have cut her losses and left then. The same situation with me. The thing that I would have done differently, and see, here's why I kind of entertained him. Looking back, I realized I entertained him for as long as I did, is because we weren't living in the same country. This man was in Dubai. He was working and living in Dubai. He was coming home within 4 months. He was coming home within it was coming home within 6 months. And in my mind, and this is how we justify our dysfunction, I was justifying my dysfunction. I was like, oh, well, we ain't cheating because we ain't fucking. But you're cheating already because it was an emotional connection. We were on Skype 4 hours a day, every day, because there's an 8-hour time difference between the East Coast and Dubai. So when I was getting ready to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, he was just getting to work. So he'd be emailing me from his job at work and even calling me because he worked on a military base. So the phone lines were like, they worked like a domestic phone line. So it wasn't like we were calling internationally, because he was calling me from his desk at work on a military base, and we would talk. And then when he got back to his room on the base, we got on that Skype until I was about to get up and go do what I had to do for the day. So we never missed a beat. Like, we were talking all of the day. We were talking all day. It was like we never missed a beat. So in my mind, the way that I justified my dysfunction, because we good at that, it was like, oh, well, we ain't cheating. But cheating is anything that you won't do in front of your partner. I just need you to sit on that for a second. Cheating is anything you won't do in front of your partner. It's a text. It's a phone call. Like those intimate conversations that you be having with people. It ain't even got to be a nude text. It could be a text where you talking about how you feel. It's an emotional connection. So looking back, it was like, no, Craig, you were cheating. He was cheating already. So that's what I'm saying. I had to reevaluate my integrity. I had to reevaluate my own integrity, because there was a piece of me that allowed myself to participate in that. There was a piece of me that allowed myself to participate in that. But also there was a piece of me that allowed him to pull me out of my comfort zone. And see, that's why I say it's so important to set your boundaries and be very clear about what you want, what you need, what you offer, and what you bring to the table. Because a person shouldn't be able to pull you outside of your comfort zone. See, the beauty of a relationship that meshes, is that you don't have to train a person on how to be in relationship with you. Because your standards, your boundaries, your deal breakers are similar. Now, your deal breakers could be different, but your boundaries should be the same. And I'm going to explain why. I'm writing this in this fourth book that I'm writing now called Book of Jewels. Your deal breakers could be different, and I'm going to explain to you why. For me, it's a deal breaker if you cheat. But I could be in a relationship with somebody who cheating may not be a deal breaker. You may be willing to work through it. If I cheated on you, you might be like, you might be hurt, you might be devastated, but you may still want to work through it. That's not a deal breaker for you. But for me, it's like, oh, bitch, I'm done. Good luck, good night, I'm done. So your deal breakers may be different, but your boundaries should be similar. This is our relationship. This is our relationship right in here. See this square? Don't you go out there. Don't go up there. Don't go down here. Don't go over here. This is what we're doing right here. Inside here, we've agreed that we're not doing threesomes. We're not doing open relationships. Now, when you start sliding out here and you talking about you want to do a threesome or you want to have an extra baby on the side, You see this? You see that? I agreed to this in here. I agreed to this. You way over here. Where that marker? Because see, some people you gotta write it down for them. Tyrone, right here. When we said we were gonna get together, this is what we agreed on right here. Now you out here talking about you think you should get your own apartment. Now you up here talking about what you just think we should break up for 6 months and then we'll get. These are the four corners of the agreement. The goal is to get into a relationship with someone whose boundaries, relationship values, morals, integrity are similar. They don't have to be identical, but they need to be similar. And that is a part of getting to know a person. But see, some of y'all jump into it too quickly. Because see, y'all so anxious. See, some of y'all so anxious because see, you've been single for 4 years and you just ready to get your cat touched and tapped. So, you overlooking the signs. You overlooking the signs. You overlooking the signs because you're ready. Because you've decided that you're ready to get into a relationship. You're going to overlook the fact that you paying this Negro's cell phone bill. He ain't got no job. He using your car. You picking him up. You just lowering the bar because you have decided you're ready to get into a relationship. Well, girl, I just been single and maybe my standards are too high. I just need to settle down. No, you ain't settling down. You settling. And that's what happened here. And again, it's not a judgment because I have been there. I've been there. And what I also realized about this girl here is that sometimes, because I do think that she needs to speak to somebody, like a therapist, in the way of a therapist, because there's something really special. Because I went to counseling, not about Rocky. That's some old shit in my first book. I went to counseling, but see, when I went to counseling, I was playing. I was trying to get my disability check. I was still trying to get my disability check. That's why I went to counseling. But God has an amazing way of bringing you to the lesson. He has an amazing way of bringing you to the lesson, right? So I'm going to counseling because I'm just trying to get my disability check. But in actuality, I ended up going to counseling and I started to hear myself speak some of the things that I was avoiding I started to hear it out loud, right? And I think that it would benefit her to do that, because what happens is she may have a tribe. You know, I talk about having a tribe all the time. She may have a tribe. She may have girlfriends really good girlfriends that she can talk to. But at some point, and she sounds like she's at that point, at some point your friends don't want to hear that goddamn shit no more. Look, girl, we done told you 19 times, girl, you need to leave him. After a while, your tribe gets frustrated. So sometimes it's good to have a mediator, like a therapist, where you can talk to them and they're going to listen, and you hear yourself saying what you may have not heard or thought of before. Because I personally believe, because she keeps saying in this interview what he needs to know, and he's going to do what he said he was going to do. He's going to leave his wife, and we're going to be in a relationship together. We are together. For every lesson that you can learn about somebody else, there are 3 things you can learn for yourself. For every lesson that you learn, for every single lesson that you can learn about somebody else, there are 3 things you can learn about yourself. So instead of you saying, well, yeah, but he did it, but what are the 3 things that you've learned about yourself? Because what I know to be true, in a lot of the instances where I was heartbroken behind a relationship, it wasn't so much, and think about this. Now, really think about this. Yes, I was heartbroken because the relationship had come to an end. But looking back, in every situation where I was heartbroken, and there weren't a lot, because he don't give his heart away easily. He's not easily impressed. Now, I don't know about nobody else. But in every instance where my heart was broken, and I look back at those situations now, the most difficult part wasn't the heartbreak. The most difficult part was the ego understanding that it was over. See, my ego and pride that the relationship was over wouldn't recover as fast as my heart. And so it was like, it was always those instances where I was trying to fight to make them work and to try to get the person to get back in the relationship with me, because the relationship had disintegrated. The relationship had crumbled. And so my ego and pride kept saying, oh, no, you can get him back. Oh, he just don't know who you are yet. Oh, you this, you that. Oh, yeah, you can get him back. Go on and get him back. He just ain't really seen the best part of you yet. And see, what happens is sometimes your ego is broken. Your ego is bruised. And that's the ego that's probably keeping this girl calling him, because she's telling herself, oh, I'm better than that wife. I'm better than her. Oh, he gonna leave her for me. And so she keeps telling herself that. Her ego keeps telling her that. And so she won't let it go. Her heart can recover if she allows her ego to let go. You got to let that ego and pride go. You can't try to convince somebody to be with you or to stay with you, because that is so unattractive. That is one of the most unattractive qualities, trying to convince somebody to be in a relationship with you or to stay in a relationship with you. Some of y'all in these dead relationships now, the man's sitting right there with you, but he gone. Mentally, he gone. He been gone. But you just content because he's still in the house. I'd rather be alone, feeling lonely, than be with someone and feel like I'm by myself. Some of y'all in love and lonely. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game. But I really feel for her, and I feel for the wife, because she has no clue. Now, she may know her husband has been cheating and stepping out, but she's not aware of this girl. She's not aware of this girl. And like I said, this girl is going to her hair salon. She's going to her yoga shop. Not shop, but yoga, what's it called? Yoga studio. You out there doing your downward dog, and here she is beside you. Girl, like what? You trying to get you laying out your yoga mat, and here she is. I'm telling you, this is a Lifetime movie waiting to happen. Snapped. What's that show? Snapped. Whew, God. It's so easy, though, to look at her and say, oh, my gosh, she's so stupid. I remember when I was in college. I talk about this in my first book. I remember when I was in college. What was her name in the book? Her name in the book was, I can't remember. But those of you who read the first book, remember when I was in college and, damn, what was her name in the book? Was it Justice, maybe? Remember I told you her mom came down to Hampton. I was in school. And her mom really, really took a liking to me. She adored me. And she gave me this card when I was graduating. And the card had me in tears, crying and shit. Because she said she could foresee all of this great stuff happening to me. She was like, he's just such a wonderful person. So she got me this beautiful card. Well, her daughter was a close friend of mine at the time. I can't remember. I know her real name in real life because we still stay in touch. But I can't remember her character name in the book because, you know, I changed everybody's names. Except for Tyler Perry and Brandy and my family members. But I think her name was Justice. But in college, she was dating a guy. And she was head over heels for this guy. And I just saw right through him. I knew he wasn't shit. I knew he wasn't worth a damn. But, you know, she in college, and you know how y'all do. Y'all go away to college, and you think you grown because you're getting some regular dick. You know, you moved into your own apartment and stuff off campus. You know, you buying groceries and stuff. So you think you grown. And so she had a car. That's one of my biggest fears about having children and sending them away to college, especially a girl. I'd probably be making random trips down there to make sure she ain't got no Negro living in the apartment for her that I'm paying for off of my hard-earned book money. But anyway, she was dating this guy. She had a nice car, right? Her parents had bought her this nice car. And she would let this bum drive her car. He'd be driving her car all around campus, driving it all wild like he paying the car note. Dating other girls, picking up other girls, going to see other girls in her shit. And I remember telling her, girl, you don't know he doing all of this? But see, excuse me. But see, I hadn't had much experience with love. Excuse me, at that point. I hadn't had much experience with heartbreak. I hadn't had much experience with relationships. And so it was easy for me to be to stand outside of the situation and look at her and call her dumb and think and I wouldn't say she was dumb. I wouldn't say it to her face. I would talk about it behind her because she's stupid. But, you know, in her face, because she is my friend and she was my friend, I'd be like, girl, but I would get so frustrated with it in her. I'm like, girl, you don't see this, but it's not always about what you see. Because trust and believe me, this girl right here in this video that we just listened to, she saw all of the signs. She chose to ignore them. The same thing I could have done in my situation. I just chose not to ignore them. She chose to ignore them. And I kept saying to my friend, girl, you know he did. She was like, I know, da da da. But see, she thought that she would be able to, I guess it was her ego and her pride. I guess she didn't want to be humiliated. She didn't want to be humiliated. So she stayed in it. And because I guess for some people, walking away from a situation is a sign of retreat or a sign of defeat. Or you're admitting to everybody that's watching, your friends, your family, your cousins, whoever, they looking and like, oh, let's see what she gonna do. What he gonna do? And it's like, you don't want to look weak. And you don't, yeah, it's hard. But I think a lot of that shit is mental. I think it's less connected to the heart than we think it is. I think most of that shit is mental. And so she knew he was ripping and racing the streets and all on the campus, dating all these. First of all, we were juniors or something. He should have graduated 2 years before child. He was old. It was just a mess. And her mother said to her, and this is in the first book, she said, oh, I'm going to say her real name. Her mama said, he's going to grow up to be an intelligent loser. But you can't give that kind of wisdom to a person. They have to be ready for it. They either have to see it for themselves and they have to be ready for it. And so she wasn't ready to receive it. And so she kept dealing with him. and she was heartbroken, and I would see how broken she would be about that relationship. And it took years for me to experience my own type of heartbreaks and that kind of thing. And I actually picked up the phone and called her, because whether you know it or not, I'm a pretty big person when it comes to owning my shit and admitting when I was wrong. See, that's a quality that I have to have in a partner. I need you to be able to say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I need you to be the person that will sometimes step up, and when we're going through a rough time, I think you need to come up, you know, and approach the situation and say, you know what, I want us to fix this. How do we do this? Because I've always traditionally been the one in my relationships to do all of the heavy emotional lifting. So years later, I ended up calling her after I had been through my own little heartbreaks and hiccups. And I called her and I said, you know, I just have to say, I have to apologize to you because I wasn't as understanding. I wasn't as sympathetic when we were in college. At this point, we had been out of college for years. And I said, I just needed to apologize because I didn't quite understand that it's not so easy to just walk away, even when you know a motherfucker ain't doing you right. But what I believe and feel now at 41 years old is that a lot of times the difficulty in walking away is your pride and your ego. You don't want to let go. Sometimes it's the ego and the mind that don't want to, like, you don't want to accept that it's over, that it didn't work. But I just believe that every relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a working relationship, a job, a marriage, every relationship has its time. It has its time. And listen, if it only lasted 5 years or 2 years or 23 years, when it doesn't work anymore and you're trying to force it and you're trying to manage it, you just have to say to yourself, you know what, we had a great run. We had a great run. And move on. That's it. And to just start repairing, doing the repair on yourself to heal. Because a breakup has the kind of power to make you think that you ain't shit. I don't give a damn how great you are, how successful you are. A breakup has the potential to shatter the best self-esteem. It will have you thinking, well, damn, I really am not that great. If I was that great, then we should have been able to work this out. Especially if the person leaves you. It can leave you really, really broken. It can leave you really, really broken. But you just have to pick up the pieces and keep it moving. But make smarter choices. Make smarter choices in your relationship. That's part of the reason why I've been single now for 7 years, because I'm learning and teaching myself to choose better. Because there's a chapter in here called patterns. Oh, I had one old pattern in there of dating these sorry ass, oh God. And so I needed to take myself off the market for a period of time so that I could identify that pattern and so that I could choose better going forward. A friend of mine said to me, a girl that I used to work with, she said, stop letting these Negroes choose you. Stop letting them choose you. She said, you need to start choosing who you want to be with. Stop allowing people to choose you. And what she meant was, because I've told you guys before, if I'm interested, I have no issue going up to you, coming up to you, asking you out, whatever. I'm forward. I'm aggressive in that way. But there have been instances where people have approached me and wanted to go out and you know, and I just was saying, wasn't really interested. You ever been in a situation where you weren't really interested, but because a person was persistent and consistent, like I talked about earlier, you end up falling prey to it? I had a woman say to me once, this guy kept calling her. She wasn't interested. She was not interested in the least. Intellectually, they weren't on the same level. Financially, they weren't on the same, like, just period, right? And so we were about to go for a run one day, and this guy called her phone, and I was just like, oh, is that somebody you dating? You like him? She said, child, no. She said, but if he keeps calling, I will. Changed my life. Because the thing is, you can keep telling the person no, but eventually they're going to wear you down unless you put your foot down and end communication. But if you allow that door to be open and they can continue to keep contacting you, texting you, they'll get you in a vulnerable moment. Hey, well, won't you go on and give me a shot? Let me take you to dinner. And then eventually you're like, okay, nigga, where are we going to eat? You know what I'm saying? Or he catch you on one of them horny nights. Okay, come on over, child. Just come on. Let me just get this. Yeah, you got to cut it off. Just because a person is consistent and persistent doesn't mean that they're the one. I used to confuse those two. Because see, for me back in the day, and consistency is still very important for me, but it's not at the top of the list. It's still in the top 3. But back in the day, I used to be like, oh, he consistent, he calling, and oh shit, he texting me every day, and that. I don't care nothing about no consistent. Listen, I don't care nothing about you being persistent. I'm not interested. Okay? Stop calling me. Stop texting me. Because see, like me, I don't know how. Listen, I will block your phone number so you can't even get in touch with me no more. Because I don't need to subject myself to no weak moment. I will block your number and won't think nothing of it. You know, you get tired of saying no and shit. And then eventually he or she calls you and you're like, okay, where you want to go? Not at all. Listen, I had named 3 people at the top of the video. I remember RC and it was another woman. I can't remember her name right now. I know who you two were. But at the very beginning of this video, I said I was going to gift 3 books to 3 people. These were the books that Victoria sponsored. Donna Smith, Lori Gaddis, and Barbara Kennedy. I need your shipping addresses. Inbox me so that I can ship them. All right? If I don't get them tonight, I'm going to gift these 3 books that Victoria paid for to somebody else. Hey, girl, hey. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I'm not going to come on, I always post a note and say, I'm not going to be here. But it's rare that happens. I think this only happened twice. Twice. Right? But the podcast is called So Much to Say. It's available for free. It's in Apple Podcasts. It's in SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, wherever you listen to a podcast. I even post these live videos now on my YouTube channel as well. Okay? Because I know everybody's not on Facebook. So I put them on YouTube as well. But the podcast, you can listen at work or whatever. I don't know if you guys are familiar with podcasts, but just, if you're not, just Google So Much to Say podcast, and it'll show you where you can find it. And just hit subscribe. Again, it's free. And every single Monday morning at 10 a.m., there's a new conversation. So the conversation that's coming up this Monday morning at 10 a.m. is the one with the young lady that I said thought she was adopted for the first 36 years of her life. And then her mom ended up telling her, girl, you ain't really adopted. You're really my daughter. So, yeah. That's going to be Monday morning at 10 a.m. And then I come on Monday night on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. Okay? All right, so have an amazing weekend. Be safe. Think about your life. Pay attention to your life. Pay closer attention to your life. Make smart choices for yourself. Be safe. Tonight, brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Somebody in the bed right now eating Snickers and corn curls and shit. Get up and brush your teeth, okay? Get up and brush your teeth. Hey, Miss Eileen Barrett Williams. That's one of my ladies down there in Houston, Texas. That's one of the smart, sophisticated ladies down there in Houston, Texas. One of the Deltas. There was a room full of Deltas and AKAs. And they hosted me in Houston, Texas. What was that, 2 Fridays ago? It wasn't last Friday. I think it was 2 Fridays ago. In Houston, Texas. So thank you for supporting what I do. I appreciate it. And those of you that have gifted books tonight, you have no idea how special that is to me. Because again, when I'm shipping these books across the country like this, and they're going to cities and countries that I've never heard of or even been to, I know that that's God planting seeds. And eventually those seeds are going to sprout up, and it's going to be a big old forest. And then before you know it, it's going to be a buzz in all of the cities across this country about these books, right? So for me, it's about shifting culture, shifting minds and hearts and minds and, you know, bridging communities, whether it's black folks and gay people or gay people and trans people, black people and white people. Like, I believe that that's what I was called to do, is to try to bridge the gap between communities. Because I know some of you that watch this video, you haven't always been comfortable with gay people. especially black gay men, but maybe something I've said maybe provoked you to think a little differently, right? You see the God, the Spirit threaded through everything that I talk about on these live videos and on my podcast. So, again, even with the white folks that watch, you know, maybe you kind of see that things could be changed for the better in this country in terms of race relations because of something that I've said. So that's what it's about for me, all right? So you have a great night. Again, get up because I see you got Funyuns. You got Funyuns in your covers. You got cookies and crumbs and shit. Get up and brush your teeth. Shake out them crumbs. I'll see you Monday. Bye.